Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Earthen's Den. I am feeling fabulous on this Monday morning. I hope you guys are feeling great. And in this episode, I want to talk to you guys about redefining what it means to be average. I think that in today's society, average is more so like it's defined as like having a Toyota Camry and living in like a Drees home. and it's so crazy to me because it's typically centered around materialism, and it's not really centered around like intrinsic value or just like a person in itself. And so I think what it means to be average is somebody who's trendy, somebody who seeks popularity rather than truth. I think it's somebody who's afraid to go their own way. I think it's people who do things for approval, right, and acceptance of others rather than charting their own path and living in their own truths and being authentic to who they are. I think to me that's average. Average is pretending to be something that you're not. Average is pretending to be like the next guy, or the next girl just because you feel as though they're, more worthy or credible than you. I don't think there's anything wrong with having role models or having admiration for anybody who's in your field. And I can honestly say I've been gifted, and I'm very thankful to have listened to a multitude of speakers and to have found my own voice. I think when I was starting out and I was speaking, I definitely was kind of like sounding like some of the familiar speakers that I was listening to. And so I don't think that many people can do that. I don't think that many people can see a method or see a person, and, very rarely can people take what they've learned from others and kind of make it their own and tailor it to their own just true self versus, copying everything that it is at this, imitating, right? And then trying to win by emulation. And I think I think to me that's average. I definitely think average is somebody who's trendy, somebody who's not really doing it because they want to do it, but doing it because, oh, this looks good, or, oh, I want to be like the next person, or, to me, this is what's going to get me that. So I'm going to sell my soul, sell my truth, sell my dreams, give up on everything, just for this short-term gain. To me, that's average. I think to be exceptional, and, a lot of people are, like I said, they're putting these definitions, like I've heard somebody say like high value or like, and I think what it's doing, I think I understand the agenda and the totality of it, but I think what it's doing is it's then putting people on a pedestal and saying, okay, if you are in a certain tax bracket, then you're better than most. You know what I mean? And so I feel like that kind of like negative connotation around it is terrible. I think somebody who's exceptional is somebody who is so unique and so real and like so divine and just so true to who they are, and they don't really care about what other people have to say, right? They're doing it because they want to do it. They're doing it because they love to do it. I tell you guys all the time, like I've tried many different things, and I didn't know that I was going to be a writer. Honestly, it was like I was in that weird space where I was like, dang, do I want to be a writer in a world where everybody's like striving to be influencers and, everybody's like, you know what I mean? And I think that's kind of where we fall into that gray area where we were kind of like borderline in the middle of the pendulum of like average and exceptional, because exceptional, I'm going to say extraordinary, but I think it's because, you kind of fall victim to that comparison. And when you look around and you look at the lives of other people, you're like, oh, dang, do I match up? And I think oftentimes the answer is no, and so I'm thankful that I decided to be myself and live in my truth and pursue my dreams, though they weren't as common as most people, and I'm not by any means saying that if you want to pursue certain things that seems like it's, saturated, because I don't really believe that a space is very saturated. I think that everybody has something to bring to the table, whether or not you're in fashion, whether or not you're in music. I think everybody's got their own kind of like flavor, their own little zest, when you stand in your true self, but of course, if you don't stand in your true self and you're doing it because, of another person, or you're doing it just because, it sounds good or it seems like, that's the best way, because right now it's like the entertainment industry is booming. So most people, I think that a lot of people are kind of just trying to lean towards anything that's in the digital field, which there's nothing wrong with, you guys. Like, please hear me when I say that. And so I think a lot of people we're all still finding our way. And I think that oftentimes we're kind of predicating our dreams and all of those things based on societal influences. And it's not really being true to ourselves. So I think that's what makes somebody exceptional. I think somebody who can be kind after everything they've been through in their life. I think somebody who still has a tender heart and a spirit of generosity is somebody who's extraordinary. You know what I mean? Because life throws punches, man. Like, that's what this podcast is all about. Life's ebbs and flow, And I think somebody who can still be, who's still a person who has light and who lets their light shine, after everything that they've been through. That's extraordinary. You know what I mean? Like, I think people who kind of step into the space where they're bitter, or they're unforgiving, that's average. Like, that's average. I think that, to me, that's average. The person who is like, the victim and you know what I mean? Like, because it takes so much, to really step into a space and, like I said, after everything you've been through and to, change and want to do better and want to be better. You know what I mean? I think average is somebody who is who everybody says they should be, but they're not really that person, right? They've kind of morphed themselves into this person because everybody said that they should be that person. That's average. So I just think it's time to kind of redefine a lot of things that are kind of going around. And, I don't think that, I'm not ever one to say that money doesn't matter. I love money. I tell you guys that all the time. I'm not one to say that because you are considered like a societal high earner that, you should play down, or if you know something, you should play down. But I'm not really one for, like, putting people necessarily on a pedestal based on their average characteristics that are common amongst the vast majority of people. You know what I mean? So I tell you guys all the time, it's the intrinsic value for me. And I'm going to leave you guys with your thoughts. I hope everybody's having a great Monday, and I am redefining what it means to be average.